still moves. It didn't quit moving on me. It just got low on hydraulic pressure. And as you can see in the video there, yeah, so this is your transmission pressure I was showing. And at an idle, it should just be, you know, right around where the red is, you know, 50 PSI or whatever. When it was running, it was 80 to 100 when it was actually running. I gotta look at the book and see what that book says. I gotta see what the book says on the actual pressure. Yeah, obviously it's in the green. It's probably better than nothing, but where are their optimal pressures and go from there. I think it has to do with that lift pump though, I really do. Granted, we didn't run it for 2 hours, so maybe it'll quit moving after a while, I don't know. But we're gonna do some other stuff to it. I wanna get it back together kind of before we keep moving dirt with it. But like I said, we're gonna pull this nose cap off. We gotta replace the belts and stuff on the serpentine here or whatever. Those are squealing like crazy. I'm sure you could hear it in the camera there. They're just squalling like crazy. See, this is completely out, so yeah, they're definitely bad. So we're gonna do an oil change and stuff. I'm gonna show you how I pull this nose cap off. And I think we might get into doing something here because this thing's so whopped out, it drives me nuts. If you angle the blade, it gets stuck, so then you gotta bang on it a couple times or get it to loosen. It'd be nice at least that main pin, the pivot pin was good. I know the other pin is bad too, but the pivot would be nice to have it work properly at least. So yeah, yeah, let's get into it. Here we go. All right, so we're working on the Dozer transmission, and we are trying to check the pressures on the machine here for the transmission, and the one port that I really need to check, the plug is completely screwed up in it, fortunately for me. The rest of them seem to come out okay. There was actually a couple new ones in it, so somebody's been in here at one point in time, I'm sure of that. But so the one port that I want to check, I can't get to because of this plug being messed up. So we need to drill this out, so hopefully we can get in there. This is not what I wanted to do, but I have tried to easy out it and everything else, and these are brass plugs and it don't want to come out. So we're gonna drill it. Right there's where we want to go. All right, let me see if I can get another. Oh, drill bit there. All right, we drilled it out a couple more times here, and oh, I think it's gonna move, but oh, it's moving. Oh man, that's fucking tight. This is my way again. Come on, baby. Come on out. All right, before we take it completely out, let's clean that off. All right, let's see what kind of mess we come up with here. Probably a bad one. Ooh. Yep. No good. That's like pieces of it, not even all of it. As you can see there, obviously I wasn't in the center of it, but still, we're gonna have to get down in there. I wonder if this thing's been cross-threaded in there and everything else. Oh, let's take a look at that. All right, so you see we pulled this out. Not what I wanted to do. Not even remotely close. So, but I don't know. I feel like maybe we got an issue in this thing. And yeah. So we're gonna pull this thing down and see what's going on. All right, I got her back together. I got no extra parts other than some bolts, which that's fine. They're just not in yet. So she's all back together, looks pretty clean. I am not painting this thing. We're gonna run it this way it is. We tapped out this hole. This is the one that was all stripped out and stuff. So we gotta get a plug to throw in it. Everything feels good, it all moves good. All the detents are working. So what we're gonna do is we gotta put it back in the machine. Gaskets over there for the base. Put it back in the machine, get it all in. And then we have a pressure test kit I'm borrowing from somebody. We're gonna hook up like 5 of the gauge. I think there's 5 ports that we need to check. And so we're gonna hook up all 5 gauges because that's what the actual kit has in it. Set them up so we can actually run it. And then we can see all the pressures as we run it all at the same time. So here we go, we're gonna get it in. Alright, so we got the valve body in. I got a couple gauges hooked up. We're going to fire this up and see if I actually did it right or what is going on, and see if it'll at least move and get back to where we started off with. So here we go. So what I'm doing right here is we're holding the foot brake down and giving it full throttle, and that will spike the pressure in the transmission and the valve, and it's going to tell me exactly where the pressures are and how high they're going to go. This is, according to the book, is how you do it. So that's what I'm kind of doing here. So as you can see, the left gauge, you'll see it move up and down a little bit or whatever. It's actually where it needs to be in reference to the book. The right gauge, as you'll see, it does not move. It just wasn't low enough of a pressure gauge to actually read anything. So I swapped the left gauge onto where the right gauge was, and it moved to exactly where it was supposed to. So they seem to be working as they should be as of right now. Alright, so we put the blade back on the machine and a few of the tins, and took her outside and ran it. It seems to be working. I don't know that I ran it long enough though. It usually had to be run for quite a little while before it really gave me any transmission issues. But I do believe that valve, taking that valve apart and doing what we did to it, cleaning it and stuff, it did help. It seemed to be a little more responsive and not so sluggish on going into gear. It didn't seem to be kicking out or anything like that. I did run it for probably about an hour, and we pushed some dirt and stuff with it and whatnot. So I think we might be getting somewheres. I will say the one pressure on the main dash there that's on the machine, it drops off a little bit after a while. So it still is concerning me that something's wrong with it. But unfortunately, I gotta get this thing back together and just use it the way it is. I got some stuff to do, and I got other projects that need to be get in the shop before we keep messing with this machine. So I think this is going to be it for this for a little while, and we'll go back to it at some point maybe. See you then.